In 2007, George Aite, a Ghanaian economist, gave a TED talk titled Africa's Cheetahs versus Hippos. Now, in his TED talk, the cheetah represented the youth, and the hippo represents the elderly, often politicians. In his TED talk in 2007, George Aite lashes out at the corrupt and complacent African leaders. He calls on the youth to take over the continent. From the bureaucrats, he calls the hippos. Now, the cheetahs that George Aite spoke about are a huge and influential chunk of people. Africa has the youngest population in the world. There are over 200 million people between the ages of 18 to 24. The top 10 youngest countries are found on the African continent. In Niger, 56.9% of the population is 18 years or younger. In Uganda, 55% of the population is 18 years or younger. These are people that will need opportunities to make their life worthwhile. Now, we find a number of young people look towards central government for opportunities. There are numerous calls that are being made for central governments to come up with opportunities for young people to alleviate their plight. Okay. Now, in Namibia, we have examples of young people that are looking towards central government for opportunities. We have the struggle kids. These are children that have been left behind during the liberation struggle for Namibia's independence. They look towards central government for opportunities. Some have resorted to begging. Now, the situation in Namibia is very dire, for the youth especially. Opportunities are few and far between. In Namibia, we have a youth unemployment rate of 39.2%, compared to a national unemployment rate of 28.1%. This is according to the Harambee Prosperity Plan. Now, the Harambee Prosperity Plan is the Namibians' action plan towards prosperity for all Namibians, a brainchild of the current president, Dr. Hage Geingob. Now, I believe that young people looking towards government for opportunities is an old way of doing things, like old technology that has become obsolete. Okay. I remember in a movie that I watched back in 2002, the computer monitors in that movie were this big cathode ray, television-like monitors that were there, these huge things. Now, in the 2016 sequel of that movie, the guys had flat screen computer monitors. Now, in that movie, you see a shift from old technology to new technology. African youth need to shift their thinking. They need to stop depending on government for opportunities and create their own opportunities. African youth need to stop, control yourselves, look at alternative solutions, and delete the unwanted situation. Frank Swaneker, founder of the African Leadership Forum, a residential school for 15 to 19-year-olds based in Johannesburg, South Africa, a school that is aimed at teaching this youth into becoming future African leaders, puts it eloquently when it says that Africa's greatest resource is not the gold that is found in the city of Johannesburg, South Africa, or the oil that is found in the Niger Delta, Nigeria, or the oil fields of Kabinga, Angola. It is not the diamonds that is found in Botswana or Namibia. Africa's greatest resource is the brains of its young people. Okay. Now, there's a number of cheetahs that we have here in Namibia. These are people that have shifted their focus from depending on government to providing solutions. This list that we see here is of cheetahs that are strictly Namibian. I kept this list deliberately local to show you that, yes, you can become a cheetah like they have become. Now, these are cheetahs that have shifted their focus. They've shifted their thinking. They have realized their potential through entrepreneurship. Because I believe entrepreneurship offers the best opportunities for these cheetahs. Africa is faced with a lot of problems, from healthcare to education, access to information, to energy, adequate infrastructure, to sanitation. We are faced with good water, to poverty and hunger. We have wars and conflicts in Africa. With an entrepreneurial mind, we can shift our thinking from seeing this as problems to seeing them as opportunities. I myself ventured towards entrepreneurship. I co-founded a renewable energy business. We provide renewable energy solutions. Our company employs 10 youth and counting. Now, becoming an entrepreneur is no easy feat. It requires a lot of hard work. It requires a lot of commitment. We saw from the previous speakers the difficulties they faced with starting their own businesses. Social media and the internet is full of images of the experiences, the difficulties that entrepreneurs go through to start their businesses. What are some of the challenges that these entrepreneurs face? Geopol, a mobile survey platform, surveyed 200 entrepreneurs each in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, in Ghana, in Nigeria, and the Republic of South Africa. The mobile survey platform wanted to find out what were some of the challenges that these entrepreneurs faced as they were starting their businesses. They listed the following. Access to funding is a huge problem that they experienced. A high-skilled workforce was lacking. Access to information on markets was not available. It was a major challenge. They listed poor government support as some of the backdrops to starting their own businesses, as well as other challenges. Now, from that very same survey, 37% of the respondents said that access to funding is a huge challenge. With a raise of hands, how many of you had a friend, or perhaps you yourself, who had this brilliant idea to start their business, but simply didn't have the funding for it? A whole lot of us. Okay. 24% of the respondents said that access to a high-skilled labor force is just not possible. That friend of yours that you have that wanted to start their business now has these brilliant ideas, and it needs a team of 4 or 5 skilled people. Where will he find those people? And if he found them, how much will it cost him to have those people? 18% of the respondents said that access to information is a problem. This friend of yours with this brilliant idea that needs these skilled people now needs to understand what the market is for his product. How many people will be willing and able to afford the product that he's selling? And 17% said that government support is a major hindrance to starting a business. In Namibia, it takes 66 days and 10 procedures to register a business. Your friend will have to go through those 66 days and 10 procedures of starting their business, and in addition to that, will get no tax exemptions from government whatsoever for new business that they're experiencing. 4% listed other challenges. Do you have the right partner to start your business with? Is your business in the right location? So from this, we find that there's a number of challenges that are faced by aspiring entrepreneurs. But I believe that every entrepreneur must have the desire to see a difference in themselves as well as those around them. The situation is not that bleak, however. The International Finance Corporation, a member of the World Bank, an institution that is focused on the private sector of developing economies, states that 84% of small and medium enterprises in Africa are either underserved or unserved, leaving a value gap in credit financing of between 140 billion to 170 billion US dollars. So the opportunities are there. The opportunities are plenty. Young people in Africa, the Cheetahs of Africa, need to shift their thinking. Young people need to understand the role that they need to play. They need to take advantage of the many opportunities the continent provides as they lead Africa to prosperity. I thank you.